What do you think of the government shutdown? Depending on where you are on the political spectrum, you're going to have wildly different opinions. Maybe you don't even know it's shut down. Maybe you're really angry about it. Maybe you're really excited about it. When we look at from a branding perspective, there's several different brands that are affected here. One of the brands is America as an organization. If we keep shutting our government down, what message are we sending to ourselves? And what message are we sending to the world? Now, why is the government shut down? It's because they can't seem to get their spending under control. They're spending way more money than they bring in. That's not sustainable. It's that simple. They need a better strategy to figure out how are we going to fund ourselves, because if you keep spending yourself into oblivion, eventually the piper has to be paid and things will shift, and it's never comfortable when they shift that way. We've seen those austerity measures that had to be put in place for countries over in Europe that spent themselves into oblivion, and I think we could be heading in a similar direction. Now, there are major differences between the countries over in Europe and America, and maybe America can pull itself out of it without the same level of pain, but we're going to cause ourselves a lot of pain in the future because we're not spending our money, we're spending our kids' money. So one of the things we're doing is we're weakening our brand as a country. We are literally saying we're going to kick our problems into the future. We're going to spend our kids' money, our grandkids' money. We're going to spend future money that we don't have now simply because we think we can spend it better than they can later. And we'll let them worry about taking care of it. That's going to lower our credit rating. That is another reduction in our brand trust. But then let's look at it from a political standpoint also. You have the Democrat Party, you have the Republican Party. These parties have realized that the best thing they can possibly do is turn you and me into enemies, even though we're on the same whole team. We're all Americans. Shouldn't we be getting along? Aren't we, we roll back? Aren't we the people, if we can get rid of all the hate and division, aren't we the people that lead the free world? Aren't we the ones that have some of the greatest blessings on the planet? How is it that they've figured out that they can say, oh, you're this party, I can't associate with you. Oh, you're that party, you're this. You're that party, you're this. They are literally taking plays out of the playbook to dehumanize each other, and they'll never admit to it, but that's exactly what they're doing. When they can turn your neighbor into your enemy, they've sowed division and they win because now you turn to them as the expert to save you from your neighbor and your friends. Absolutely disgusting. So who's winning out of the Democrats and the Republicans? Well, the Democrats think they're winning because they're pandering to one part of their base. The Republicans think they're winning because they're pandering to one part of their base. But I'll tell you who's losing in all of this. And it's we, the American people, are losing each and every day. And the reason we're losing is the government has certain obligations it's supposed to do. I don't agree with all the things they do. I don't think they're doing some of the things they should be doing. And I think they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's my opinion. You'll have a totally different opinion. I respect and appreciate that you have that opinion because it's the ability for you and me and everyone in America to have the freedom to discuss ideas, to figure out which course is the best direction going forward, to recognize we've never been perfect in our past and we're on this continual journey towards moving for a better tomorrow all the time and having discussions to figure out what that better tomorrow is. What we need to do is we need to be able to have discussions without the hate, without the division. We can have discussions where we disagree on the subject matter, but agree that we're still neighbors, we're still friends, and we're still on the America team, and we're playing together. That's what we need. When they start looking at it as far as, oh, the Republicans are up ahead in the polls, the Democrats are up ahead in the polls on their target, what they're forgetting is there is literally millions of Americans whose lives are impacted in negative ways because of that fighting. So who's really winning? Well, I'll tell you what. I think what we can do is we can start having better conversations with our friends and neighbors. We can start having better conversations with people that we're politically opposed to, but recognize that just because we view the world differently doesn't make us enemies. It makes the world a more vibrant and a stronger place. And it's okay to disagree on opinions and still be friends around the dinner table. That's what I think is important here. We need to get back to that. Once we can reestablish that, once we can come back together as a people and say we may disagree on the way things should work, but we can still be friends all the time, we can start saying to those elected officials, do your job, figure it out, and you don't need to shut down the government every 6 months to do it. Additionally, I think from a brand perspective, the best opportunity is to figure out how we can work together, and that will strengthen the real brand that matters, because it will set the stage for America to be able to do more great things, both for the American citizen, but also to lead the world in moving in a good direction.